Since yoga is something new and the Bible doesn't talk about it, isn't it a gray area? I mean, isn't it up to each individual believer to decide what's best? Besides, my pastor's wife does yoga.
Everyone stands before God in the end on their own. So yes, it is up to each person. But if you decide what's right based on personal desire regarding yoga or any other matter, or if you're using another person to be your measure for truth instead of the Bible, then I heed you great warning. Evil is free will perverted. The choices we make will either align us with God or take us into a broad way. So the choice is yours. Many Christians have in their homes, they have the sign, Joshua 24:15b, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Too often Christians think that means choosing the moral ways of God. But that's not entirely accurate. As you continue reading in Joshua, as well as some chapters in Judges, you'll learn that Joshua was crying out for the people to get off the fence and choose God. He was calling them out to get the pagan worship out. There was a clear and defining choice. It wasn't an either-or decision. It was not a gray area. The word consistently states that participation in pagan worship practices, the act of the practices themselves, even if you are doing them for the true God, is an abomination to God, dishonors and disrespects Him, and ensnares you and your family and leads to immorality. So if you want to worship the only true God, and if you want to live morally as God intends, you cannot include pagan worship in your life. Cultural history confirms that pagan worship is in fact a precursor to immorality. And Christians would do right to look closer at the order of events in Joshua, Judges, and Romans 1. Yoga is not new, it's ancient. And to say it isn't in the Bible is not really correct. Technology has allowed archaeology to illuminate history and cultural anthropology. Yoga forms existed in pre-India times and spread across culturally throughout history. Some pieces of it here, some there, some exchanged of one of its forms here and another there. A systematic collection of many of its popular practices were assembled a few generations after Christ ascended. And archaeological facts tell us that yoga forms, sometimes not called yoga, but identifiable as what we know as yoga, existed in and around Israel before, during, and after Jesus, during the times of the early church. Even artifacts found in the areas that the New Testament writers wrote about and warned of the pagan worship. As you look closer at the Bible in an authentic historical frame, it pulls back the veil to show you that what was still is.